New Eden, a galaxy of wonders and dangers, and of course, a place that harbors many threats, but few of them are as terrifying as the Sansha Nation. Born from the twisted vision of Sansha Kuvakei. Kuvakei's dream of creating a utopian society ruled by an intellectual elite served by cybernetically controlled slaves eventually led to his downfall. Despite efforts by the empires to destroy Sansha Nation, it did survive, slowly regaining strength, until it became a formidable power once more. Sansha Kuvakei was a wealthy, eccentric man from an old Kaldari industrial family. His rise to power began during a time when much of New Eden was uncolonized. After inheriting his family's fortune, Kuvakei grew restless. Dissatisfied with the society around him, he envisioned a new order, a utopia where he would lead an intellectual elite served by obedient workers. To achieve this, Kuvakei built a prosperous domain independent of the other empires, marketing it as a promised land. By the year YC5, shortly after the formation of the interstellar police force Concord, Sansha Nation had become a significant power. However, Kuvakei was not content with simply building a new society. According to his own twisted ideals, Kuvakei's vision evolved into an era of creating society, divided between an elite ruling class and a loyal army of workers and soldiers. He dismissed the idea of using robots. He kinda believed that only humans could provide the creativity and adaptivity needed. He was another AI hater, it seems. Anyway, to control these human workers, Kuvakei turned to different technology, using the hydrostatic capsule technology, which was gifted to the Kaldari by the Jove. Kuvakei developed a method to create cybernetic slaves. These true slaves were completely controlled by implants, which he tested on Minmatar slaves provided by the Amar Empire. The true slaves were highly adaptable, serving in every capacity, from laborers to soldiers. As Sansha Nation grew, the true slaves replaced all other workers, while the intellectual elite became the true citizens, and ruling over them all. But the growth of Sansha Nation did not go unnoticed. As the ranks of true slaves grew, the rumors of Kuvakei's experiment spread. The empires became increasingly concerned, and in YC37, the truth about the horrors within the Sansha Nation exposed by a joint investigation from Minmatar and Galente operatives. Presented with undeniable evidence, the Concord demanded Kuvakei to surrender. And of course he refused, knowing that the Empire would never understand his vision. So in response, the coalition of the 5 empires, including the Jove and even Amar, launched an all-out assault on Sansha Nation. The coalition forces devastated Kuvakei's domain, reducing it to rubble. Kuvakei himself was believed to have been killed in the final battle, although some true citizens and true slaves survived by hiding. Sansha Nation was effectively destroyed. Despite this destruction, the remnant of Sansha Nation were not idle. Over the decades, surviving true citizens and true slaves slowly gathered in hidden stations that had escaped the coalition's notice. These outposts became the foundation of rebuilding Sansha Nation. By YC105, about 70 years later, the nation had regained enough strength and began raiding nearby regions, including the Amar Empire. Although Sansha Nation appeared to be a shadow of its former self, its leader were playing the long game. They carefully avoided drawing too much attention while secretly rebuilding their forces. By YC 1012, Sansha Nation was ready to reveal itself to the galaxy once more. That same year, Sansha Nation launched a series of shocking attacks across multiple star systems. The attacks were unlike anything ever seen before. This was, of course, because the nation used unstable wormholes to strike inhabited planets, abducting hundreds and thousands of people. The response from capsuleers and the powerful independent pilots of New Eden was of course swift, but Sansha Nation continued its attacks. Then wouldn't you know it, a figure calling himself Master Kuvakei appeared, claiming to be the resurrected Sansha Kuvakei. While many dismissed this as a propaganda ploy, the evidence began to mount that Kuvakei had indeed returned, most likely using the advanced biotechnology and cybernetics that he himself developed before the fall. These attacks escalated, spreading terror across New Eden. Capsuleers fought back, but the nation's forces were relentless. By YC 113, the focus of the attacks was shifted to disrupting Capsuleers' activities, indicating that Sansha Nation now saw them as a serious threat. What we now know is that Sansha Nation is a totalitarian dictatorship, still ruled by Sansha Kuvakei. The majority of its population consists of true slaves, cybernetically controlled beings who follow Kuvakei's every command. Although they are often thought of as mindless, true slaves do retain some degree of thoughts and personality, of course depending on the role and the level of control exerted by their implants. The true citizens, on the other hand, are the elite members of the nations. These are individuals who joined Kuvakei willingly and are allowed to retain their individuality. Many true citizens choose to be fitted with these implants that do connect them to the nation's hive mind without enslaving them. And this is mainly because these implants enhances their abilities and allow them to work together more effectively. As you probably now know, Sansha Nation is hostile to most other powers in New Eden, particularly the empires that destroyed it in the past. The nation's military is composed of true slaved cruise ships, known for their distinctive spine-like designs, and of course, powerful technology. Sansha Nation has developed the ability to create artificial wormholes that only their ship can pass through. These wormholes provide a significant logistical advantage. They can be disrupted by gravimetric jamming, but are otherwise uncontested. The nation's fleet consists of various hull designs, with the most well-known being the Succubus, the Phantasm, the Nightmare, and of course the Revenant. Although Sansha Nation is feared and hated by most, except me, it maintains an uneasy truce with some pirate factions, like the Blood Raiders and Guristas. These truces are born more out of a mutual hatred for the common enemies, such as the Amar Empire, than any shared ideals. The Sansha Nation, once thought to be a nightmare from the past, has returned as a powerful and terrifying force, with the Sansha Kuvakei seemingly back at the helm. The nation continues to grow in strength, threatening the stability of New Eden, and as the empires and the capsuleers struggles to fend off its incursions, the dark dream of Sansha Nations lives on.